Nick Taylor.
Yeah.
My God, drains a 72-foot eagle putt to become the first countryman in 69 years to win the Canadian Open as a fellow Canada man.
Dude, what a finish, man. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write a script or a book better.
You really couldn't have.
And then you got Adam Hadwin. Happy look out!
Adam Hadwin,
Really?
the guy of the week, getting fucking sacked. Actually sacked. Like, that was a linebacker level tackle. Like, that was like all shoulder, lowered shoulders. Like, that guy, I think that security guard was like probably like pro football or something.
Dude stuck him.
Perfect
form tackle.
Madden
unreal.
Truck stick.
Kept the legs driving for sure. Sign that guy up for a Thursday night men's beer league, man.
You know what was the crazy?
He's a monster.
You know what was the best part? Adam Hadwin, he didn't hold his thumb off the champagne, so he never spilt it.
Oh, no. You know what's even better than that? Adam Hadwin is Canadian, so he forgave. He said, "Oh, sorry."
He's so polite. He's probably like, "Oh, sorry about it.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, shit.
Good hit there, eh?"
Sorry for our atrocious Canadian accents and for our 15 Canadian listeners. Please don't stop listening to our 15 Canadian listeners. Please don't stop.
No, we appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
I love maple syrup.
Love it. Even though I think maple syrup's like more Vermont than anything else. But, hey, whatever.
Hey, maple leaves. Hey, there we go.
But welcome to another episode of Good Lies Golf, Brendan.
Hey, here we are.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having me as the co-host of the show. So Nick Taylor draining the 72-foot eagle in Tommy Fleetwood's face, by the way. Sorry, Tommy, because me and you are big Tommy Fleetwood guys.
I like Tommy, man.
That was hard to watch because we've been waiting for Tommy to win one for a fucking minute, dude. He's been in the Sahara trying to fight his way out of this shit. And he's been
for sure.
And he's been good. Like, he's been getting up there.
He's trending, man.
Trending.
I like him this year. I like him this year. I've mentioned him, I think, a few times. But I don't know. I mean, it definitely sucks that he didn't get that W, but I feel like although we have to keep waiting, maybe it just opens the way for, one of the big ones. I don't know. Because I don't know, man. He's a great all-around player. US Open, maybe. I don't know. You definitely are going to have to be a crafty magician, and he's kind of one of those, little dudes that just has a way around the course,
He's like a Cam Smith or like a JT. He can just kind of like shape it.
He shapes great shots, and I just feel like he always comes to play, especially in the hard tournaments. So, the way the US Open's been looking, it's a bit wild.
Yeah, man. And just to say too, Nick Taylor, I'm speechless. This is for all the guys that are here. This is for my family at home. I'm very speechless. This is the most incredible feeling ever. So like, this was the biggest win. Like, this is like for a Canadian, this is like the Masters. You know what I mean? Like, this is their Masters. So
absolutely,
it's legit.
This is the Canadian major, man. Yeah. There's just got to be something about winning the biggest tournament on your home turf. You know what I mean? Even if he did win a major, obviously it would be mega because it's a major. But the fact of like winning the biggest tournament in Canada as a Canadian, I'm sure there's no feeling, however, remotely feel again like that.
And you gotta think
the crowd was electric, dude. That was unreal.
And he almost had this at the Zurich when he came in second. He was so close, dude. He was right there in the Zurich, and we almost won. And the Valspar, he came in 10th. So he 15th at the Valero. He's been playing great. Even the Waste Management, second place. Like, the guys came in second twice.
Playing great golf this year.
6 top 10s in 2023, dude. Nick Taylor is the kid to watch. He's on fire.
He's playing well.
He's kind of.
How do you think that kind of leads or bleeds into this week with the US Open?
Honestly,
is he on too high of a high?
I'm a big believer that, like, unless you're one of those big name guys like Finau or McIlroy, or like, unless you're one of those guys that's built for pressure like that, I could not imagine him doing like a back-to-back after winning something so like monumental, like the RBC. I would eat my words respectfully and gracefully if he did it, but I just can't call that because I don't think he's got it in him pressure-wise. I could be wrong. He just won a very important tournament. I don't know.
I don't see a W coming. I was just more curious, like, does he play well? Kind of compete in the
he'll
top
play well.
20,
I mean, you're playing
or
well.
does
You're
he have
playing
a big
well.
letdown? You know?
No, I think when you're playing well, you're playing well. But you got to think. I mean, the talent pool is similar, but it ups a little bit. And then you got to think he's now 6th in the FedEx Cup rankings, dude.
Yeah.
That's 6th. There's only 5 motherfuckers ahead of him.
Balling.
So I don't know. He could surprise us, and he makes a big showing at the Open. I don't know, but I think it's so hard to just play well like that back to back. It's such a hard thing to do, to just like get right back into it and be back in the top 10. You're not
for sure.
You know,
and he's just coming off a freaking absolute high. I mean,
that's what I mean. It's so euphoric. Like he's gonna be getting wasted all week. Like he's gonna be literally drinking and like probably raging.
Dude, he's gonna have the largest sugar high there is, man.
Exactly.
That guy is just ripping syrup lines and eating some bacon,
snorting syrup lines.
Some old hockey sticks, eh?
Some hockey sticks. Speaking of hockey sticks, Brendan got out there a little bit this week. Got after it for some G-Olf. Where'd you go, dude? Brendan?
Well, I mean, it's crunch time here, man. I have about a week left before Apple Valley, so I'm trying to tune in and trying to peak at the right time, and it might be happening. I can't speak too far ahead of myself, but I've been struggling hard. I mean, I had one of the worst rounds I've had in years a couple weeks ago at Stone Lake. Shot a 116. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid.
I'm afraid.
I'm afraid. All right, I am. You caught me.
But Apple Valley. So we went to this last year. So Brendan and I went to Apple Valley last year for a golf tournament. It kicked my ass. I'll be honest. I had never played 4 rounds of golf like that, back to back to back to back to back to back. And I got my ass kicked. I was tired. I was grumpy. I was like an old bitchy grandma the whole time. I was not happy. Yeah. And I played like shit, but it was fun in the moments where I wasn't exhausted, but it was really fun. And then the camaraderie, obviously, afterwards, because it's one of those retreats where you have like all the golf cottages at the course and like all your buddies stay in all the houses around it. So at nighttime, we're all just fucking, drinking and ripping bongs and doing dumb shit in all the rooms.
Dude, best bocce course in North America.
Brendan loves.
That place is dope. I love little bocce.
Loves the lawn.
Oh man, but it's got to be a natural course, if you know what I mean. I like just playing wherever the balls take me, I guess.
So
yum, 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 yum.
Apple Valley, though. Apple Valley's a cool place. So Apple Valley in Ohio.
I like it, man, for what it's. Yeah.
Low key. Check it out. And I will say, great service. Like you get drinks immediately. Cart girls are on it. They're like legit, and they're all like decked out in like the freshest Nikes, and like they all have their little outfits and shit. Yeah, they know what they're doing. They know how to get the tips there. They know how to friggin' serve the people, get the drinks going. Like that golf course is like built for golf retreats, basically.
Dude, it is, and that's why it's surprising. Like, I mean, when you think of just like a stay and play, I mean, resort, there's like 2 ways to go. Like in your mind, it's like this place is fucking unbelievable. Everything's to the nines. Like the course is amazing. The the resort is unbelievable. Pool, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or it's just that like super run down, everything's burnt out. There's like a guy doing crack in the corner by the RV that's on fire.
Yeah, it's always a little hit or miss.
Yeah, and but Apple Valley is that one that it's it's not the first option, but it's nowhere near the second option. You know what I mean? It's like it's perfect. They got the little cottages. They got a nice little common area with like a nice greenery. It's bocce course. They got a basketball court, and then within walking distance is the course. And I thought the course was really well maintained for what it's used for, because that's it's just
Right.
people
You would
going
think
out
it
there
would be
getting
beat
fucked
to
up and
shit because there's so many
beating the shit
people on
out
it.
of it.
Yeah, but it's
Right.
not. It's actually in really
Yeah.
good condition.
It's well maintained for what
Sure.
it's used for. And dude, I'm stoked. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah.
Um
But you got
and
after it this week already. You got it out there with the
oh,
gamer.
I've been tweaking and peeking, man. I got out there with the gamer,
The
and
gamer is
yeah.
Brendan's dad for all those who keep saying, who the fuck is the gamer? The gamer is Craig Lawson, Brendan's dad, legend. And he's
He
also a
is a
great
legend.
golfer.
He is a legend, and he's been playing best golf I've ever seen him play for sure, which is sweet. But I mean, that's what happens when you play all the time at the Oasis, because I mean that place is hard.
My man's at the Oasis all day, baby, just
Dude.
oasising away.
Yeah, so he hooked me up 2 weeks in a row with little Thursday night rounds. Just get as many holes as you can, twilight.
Sure.
And this place it's a beautiful course. It's an Arnold Palmer. Even the last 3 holes is, there's a little plaque that's, Arnie's Revenge, and they're fucking difficult. I mean, they're working around
That's
water,
fun.
and it's unbelievable. It's got almost like a linksy feel, but then there's a shit ton of like water hazard as well. It's not super long, but you have to be, especially it plays 2 different ways. During the winter, it's tough just because, you still have to be a little accurate. But during the summer, it is unbelievable because they grow out all the heather and the tall grass. And if you aren't accurate with your game, you're fucked because you're probably losing a ball immediately. And I don't know. I made some tweaks, hit the range a little bit, worked on the driver because that's been my kryptonite, and I found a little something. Found more errors in my swing, which I've been able to like slowly rectify. And dude, I turned around and played a solid little 9. Man, I shot a 39, and I didn't even putt well.
Nice. A 39 on a hard course. Look at you.
Hey, I'll take it, because the thing was, iron wise and wedge wise, I mean, I had never struck the ball more perfectly. At least for my game, it can obviously continue to grow. But dude, I was so stoked not to see a top hook with the driver, man. I mean, I was blasting it.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think, and you can maybe agree, it is almost equally as rewarding if you go out there and you shoot not the best day, but you just don't have any of those fuck ups, like those absolute dinkers and like shit top offs. So, like, it's okay to slice it. It's okay to, like, go this way, go that way. It's okay to make it short. It's okay to overshoot. It's okay to do these things, right? Miss a putt. But it's the days where you don't make any mistakes like that, like chunk, like a top, things like that. That's when you feel like you're making progress in golf. You're like, okay, I'm more consistent.
Oh
Like,
man, yeah.
and that's a better feeling sometimes than shooting low, is just knowing that you didn't make any bad mistakes carelessly, and you're working on your game like that.
Yeah.
That almost feels better sometimes.
Dude, and that's the thing about golf, is like, I know those mistakes are probably going to happen the next round when I'm feeling so high.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Dude, but the thing is like, I left that round just being like, damn, man, like I might have found something, but holy shit, I feel like so high right now.
That's what it is.
Just because I was like, damn, like when I hit the ball, it felt so pure. I went months without, you know, without with losing a ball almost every tee shot, to all of a sudden, like, multiple holes, I drove 300 plus yards, and, it was right down the center of the fairway, almost to the point where there was, the 8th hole, I actually drove it through the fairway and, rolled up on the bunkers of the green on a par 4. And like, I just hadn't felt that in so long, you know what I mean? So it was like a nice welcome home, because, there was I struggled with the power slice for a long time. Felt like I found my driver a little bit. I was hitting some bombs, as Phil would say. And then the next thing I knew, like, I just went like 6 months straight with top hook. So it was just nice to get the ball up in the air and to have some balls that I could play. You know what I mean?
It must be nice to drive the ball longer than like 198 yards, because that's,
Hey, man.
must be nice. I
Hey,
can't do
dude,
it. So
I've played so many times and I've had such poor rounds where, yeah, it looks like I'm bombing the ball, but I lose it. And then I'm the guy I just like randomly got hooked up with, some like walk on or something, hitting the ball 180 yards off the tee dead straight and just keeping in play. And it's just like par, 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 par. You
that's
know what
true.
I mean?
Yeah, I give myself like that. I'm like shitting on myself, but like at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I don't really need to hit power. But you know what? It does suck. It does suck not having power off the drive when you go to an actual really good course and you're playing from,
Oh, I mean, you need it for
and
those
you're playing
longer
from like gold
courses for
pins or
sure.
fucking whites, or you're playing from something a little more intense than whatever
Yeah.
blacks or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're friggin' just not even clearing the goddamn drive because you have to hit it 220 just to clear the thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
Like
that
on
was
those
my
holes, I just give up. I'm like, yeah, I'll just hit it and take the two and just give
that
me the
was
ball down there.
that was that stone look
Yeah.
round that I played. Like the boys wanted to play the golds, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I haven't made it past 60 yards off the tee in 6 months.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, so lost ball, dropped three, and I'm still 470 yards away on a par five. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like fuck me,
like
dude.
fuck, dude.
So
Man,
so you
yeah.
did that, went to the Oasis, got the good golf, and then what
By the
else?
way, Oasis, I'd say that place is one of the more beautiful twilight courses I've played. And I say this like, and I think about it every time I play there on a night, twilight round. It lights up with some sunsets, and I've got plenty of content to post. So I'll be throwing something up with some pretty cool shots. But I love that
Nice.
course, man. It's tough. It's
Well, that's why they call it
beautiful.
the Oasis.
It's just Oasis Golf Club and Conference Center.
But and you got some other golf out there too today, right? Or this week? Sorry, not today.
Man, I hit the range. Did a little range sesh with Cody.
What'd you work on?
Dude, I've just been working driver and
All
everything.
driver. You didn't do anything else?
I hit a little bit of 7-iron, but it was just because
My favorite club.
I started. Oh, I love that club.
It's my favorite club.
I hit 5 shots in a row with it. And they were like 5 of the best shots I've ever hit in my life, and they felt so great. I just put the club down and said, I'm good.
Yeah, anymore, and you would have fucked yourself the next 6 months.
Yeah,
I
didn't want to.
You would have overworked it, and all of a sudden
man.
you tweaked your swing, and now all of a sudden you can't hit it. Yeah, that's how it works.
Exactly. So no, I've been working driver. I mean, I've been telling you, man, for weeks and weeks and weeks. I mean, that's been the club that has been killing my scores. Not that everything else is great, but like if I could just keep the fucking ball in play and put it up, I don't have to hit it 300 yards, but if I could just put it up like 250, 280,
sure,
and just keep it in play, I mean, it would help my scoring significantly because everything else is good enough to keep the ball moving and give myself opportunities. But
yeah,
man,
and that's like the fact that I haven't been getting out there. I mean, I went to the range.
Yeah,
I did go to the range.
Did you? Would you?
Went to the range. Went to Poxabog, so out in East Hampton in the Hamptons. When you're living in the Hamptons, right? And I'm like the broke local that lives in the Hamptons, so we're not like the rich people that go have all the private memberships and shit. We don't have that. So we only have 2 golf courses, or 3 actually, that are public. You got Poxabog, Sag Harbor, Montauk. So Poxabog is dope because it's a famous breakfast joint. We'll go here when you visit in August. Don't worry.
I'm already in, dude.
It's a famous breakfast joint that's been there forever.
But do they serve breakfast all day?
All day, and the mugs,
the
mugs even say I stole this mug from the Fairway restaurant because like they know you're gonna steal the fucking mug, so they put the shit right on it. And anyways, great breakfast spot, incredible.
Shout out, dude! I'm already a fan. Do you see my face lighting up?
Yeah, you're
right
like
now,
ecstatic.
So
like we're going there the first day you guys show up.
But I'm more stoked about it being I can order it whenever because I'm also not a morning person. So
we'll go there at like 12
as much as breakfast. I
over,
love breakfast, but I'm like, it's such a conflict, man. I can't wake up, but I love breakfast.
I feel it.
Breakfast
I feel
food.
it. I'm
I
more
need a
of
bacon, egg, and cheese, man.
I forced myself to be a morning guy now, but yeah, so Poxabog, it's got the breakfast joint, and then it's got the driving range attached to it, and then it has a little tiny 9-hole attached to that. So the 9-hole is when I say 9-hole, it's like small. Like the yardage on majority of the holes is like less than 100. But then there's a couple holes that are like 150, 60 something. So like there's a couple
That's
nice
little Miami.
Yeah, and then there's
I
like
love it.
the little short ones, but it helps you work on your short game like crazy because you're kind of always fighting off the fringe. You're always kind of fighting off the side.
100%.
And they got
And
some
it only
sand.
takes like an hour to play, which is perfect.
Oh my God, yeah, it's even quicker because it's literally so condensed. It's I would say they fit a 9-hole in maybe.
Well, we usually walk that. Do you walk
7
that?
acres? Like this shit is small. Like it looks like a bunch of backyard properties put together, and that's just what it is.
I'd even argue Little Miami's 9-hole is better than their 9-hole regulation. 9-hole par 3 is better than 9-hole regulation.
It works like that sometimes because sometimes they take care of these like little courses and because they're not so big, they don't have to be so spread out with their staff and like spread out with the crew. Like they can kind of focus, hone in a little smaller on these areas when they're not having to deal with this giant wide space. Yeah, so the driving range is super cool. I went there, had to hit a couple balls, dude. I hadn't played or touched a golf club in a few weeks, and I've just been dying with work. And I was like, you know what? I got to do it. So I go there, whip out the Rogue, got my Rogue driver, start smacking them, and I felt good. And they weren't going like too far. It was like 200, like 180, fucking 200. But it felt good. They were straight. They were fucking
man, if it goes straight, that's great.
They were straight, and that's all I cared about. I didn't care if I hit it like a little girl. I don't care, or a little boy. I don't know. However you want to feel about it.
Hey, man.
Hey. Equity.
Take it easy, man. That's my daughter.
Hey. There's like a bajillion female golfers that would smoke my ass on the golf course, so I can't even talk that smack. But went there, 7-iron.
For sure.
7-iron. Oh my goodness. Was so crisp.
Well,
it was like a chef's kiss.
I have to ask now, because you say that. So what's your yardage on driver versus 7-iron? Because you were saying 180 on the driver.
My 7-iron's like a 135.
Okay.
Like a 130. 135 on my 7-iron. I hit all my clubs like a bitch, man. I hit my clubs soft.
But at one point, do you run out of yards to hit clubs?
What do you mean?
Well, if you're hitting 7-iron at 130, then what? You're hitting your 8 at 110?
Yeah.
Your 9 at 90.
My 9 is like 100, and then my pitching wedge is like I use anything less than 100 as a pitching wedge. Anything less than 100 is getting a pitching wedge.
I'm just fucking with you.
No. I'll explain my yardages out there for people that want to know how fucked up my golf game is. Here's Sherm's yardages.
I thought you were gonna tell me you hit your.
No, I'm gonna go ahead and just yell my yardages here. My gap wedge, I'm using anytime I'm even remotely off the fringe because I learned that I can't use a pitching wedge because it's just not lofty enough. So my pitching wedge is anything less than 100, and then my 9-iron I'm using when it's something that I'm like almost debating using a pitching wedge, but I don't want to. And then I'm going with the 9, and I'm just going to swing a little lighter. Terrible golf etiquette. The PGA pros,
that's your move.
PGA pros listening to this, I apologize. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay. So I take full responsibility. I know I'm doing all the wrong things. Don't yell at me. I'm just a guy. So yeah, then we got the 9, then we go to the 8. The 8's like the 110, 115. Then we go 7. That's like 130, 135. Then we go 6. No yardage because I can't hit that club to save my life. Then you got 5. I can actually hit better than 6. I don't know how that makes sense. Weird, but I can hit my 5 better, and that goes like 160 something. I guess I don't know. And then my fucking driver is the next thing. I don't really use my steelhead. I have a nice Callaway 5 hybrid steelhead that I actually like to use sometimes more than the driver because I'll get like 185 out of that thing, but it'll go straight. It won't.
Dude, I think you need like a little rescue club or something, like a little like a fairway wood or something. You know what I mean?
I do use.
I feel like that would be your club.
I use a fairway wood, but it's from a Wilson starter bag from 8 years ago. So that's my fairway wood. But I've always hit it well, so that's why I always kept it in my bag. It's the only club that's lasted since I first started playing golf.
Yeah.
Because I just liked the feel of the club, even though it's like a bullshit starter Wilson club.
Right.
But I always hit it well, and it's gotten me out of some crazy jams. And I don't know if you were playing with me that round in Apple Valley. I think it was Gilman, and Gilman will remember this shot because it was fucking epic. It saved my ass. It was like way off to the sides. I was in the trees at Apple Valley, like in the woods, like deep woods, roots coming out of the ground and everything else.
In the weeds.
Sticks, everything. And I had no lie. Terrible lie. No good lies golf was had.
Wasn't good lie. Yeah.
No. And so I just lined up with that fairway wood and I like aimed myself so weird. I was like, you know what? I'm going to fucking schwack this around these trees and it's going to go. I'm just going to do this. Probably the most beautiful shot I've ever hit in my life. The thing must have sailed like 200 yards, perfect, curved right around everything, and then landed like maybe 30 yards from the green. Like that was like the best shot. And I will vividly remember that shot for the rest of my life. Like that was one of the best shots I've ever hit in golf, and it was with that fairway wood. So that's why I can't throw that club out, because I just hit such pure shots.
That's awesome. I mean, the gamer's got a fairway wood, and he calls it, it's his little rescue club, and yeah, he just hits it like, he doesn't hit it super far, but just whenever he does, it's always like a nice little bullet. Yeah. But do you think Gilman also thinks that was one of the best shots he's ever seen someone hit?
No, because he probably wasn't watching. He saw after I hit it, I was screaming because it was so sick, and I could see his head like look around.
What were you screaming? Were you just going?
Oh yeah, I was freaking out. I was like, "Holy shit, that was great!" I don't even know what it was, but I was screaming. It was nice, but that was
dope though. I feel that, dude. There's nothing better than like just hitting a ball the exact way you envisioned it.
Yeah. Speaking of envisioned, I didn't envision a Democratic lawmaker to probe LIV and PGA for their merger.
You didn't envision that?
Did not envision that. So they're actually now saying we have a man by the name of Richard Blumenthal, and he's a Democrat out of Connecticut. Not that it matters if he's Democrat or Republican. Who gives a shit?
Why'd you say it?
Because it says in the notes D from Connecticut, so I have to look at it and see that.
Maybe he just likes the D.
Maybe he likes the D, dude. But he did quote, "is a sudden and drastic reversal of a position concerning LIV Golf." And he chairs the Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations. So he ain't some kind of jack off. He actually has some power. So we'll see kind of how this develops. He does jack off. But let's see how this develops. The PGA Tour's agreement obviously is dicey. There's still a lot of stuff in play, a lot of stuff in the mix. We've been talking about it last week. There's still not a whole lot of like new information really, so I don't want to like dive into hysterics and hypothetical crap. Yeah. But just something to note that, the government's even looking into this, and that's not the best news you want to hear. Right. Think about like all these big corporations, these antitrust lawsuits and these big things that come up. Oh, you can't buy this because it's a monopoly and all these things. So there's all this crap that I'm sure they're going to investigate and go through. But we will keep you updated on that. Sherm is on it. We're on it. We're on the political scan for this LIV PGA Tour news. We'll keep you updated.
Scanning.
But then we're bringing it to the last step, dude.
Did you also see though? I mean, so Monahan wrote a letter like regarding that, and
he did.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically pointing the finger at them, saying like we were being, the game of golf, the PGA was being attacked, as the words that he used, essentially because LIV, it was an unlimited wealth of money. I mean,
right.
The PGA couldn't compete with 650 or 700 billion, whatever it is, dollars.
Yeah.
They don't have that kind of money. So they essentially were saying like, dude, like we were going to be run out of business. There was no way that we could compete with them monetarily. I mean, there was nothing we could do from that standpoint, from stopping people to going over there, and whether the ratings and whatnot weren't great for LIV. It wasn't going anywhere because there was just money being there poured into it.
But then there's also that notion, we've heard rumors that they were not running out of money, but they were getting worried on how they were going to fund these $200 million salaries and blah, 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 blah extensively throughout X amount of time. Because I think when Greg Norman first developed this, he was thinking they're going to make a deal and we won't have to pay too much for too long because they'll make a deal sooner than later.
Right.
It's like putting a put down on a stock. You're buying a put. If that company starts doing good, you start eating unlimited cash flow. I mean, I think that's kind of what almost happened with LIV, is that it was like a put situation,
You might be right, yeah.
But we'll figure all this out. And like I said, I think we're at the point now where we know, we can all agree it's happened. It's good for the game because it's together now, and that's what it is. I mean, what else can we say?
You got Brooksy and in his press conference.
I'll see you guys at the Travelers.
Travelers. Fucking awesome, dude.
That was great.
I don't know. Like I get like all the like people calling him out and I'm being douchey and like I mean, you know,
Brooks is a
there's some
douche. I mean,
shit,
you
but
can't.
dude,
I mean,
like
that's who he is. That's literally who he is.
I almost love him more and more as things go on.
Well, he's always been that way. He's always been like outwardly douchey to the point where he doesn't care. He owns that shit. He's like, no, I don't care. I'll talk my shit. Like the Bryson DeChambeau thing. Like he didn't care. Call him out on live TV when he was getting interviewed. I mean, that was hysterical.
I don't know, dude. Brooksy. Is he coming back at it this week, dude?
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. We're coming right back into a hot week. U.S. Open. This is big
tough
time.
Courses.
So
tough tournaments.
And this is his tournament. I mean,
and he's been balling out in majors this year. And I mean, he's even come out and said this week, and he said it before, he does not care about anything else other than 4 weeks a year.
No. I mean, the guys that I'm thinking I'm looking at here, you know, obviously Brooks, you know, he won in 2017-18. Scotty was a T2 in 2022. You know, I think Scotty's going to be up there. John Rahm's going to be up there.
Scotty is so sneaky this year.
Yeah.
He's been playing unbelievably. The putter's been holding him back. Like at the Memorial, he was, I could be wrong, I'm pretty certain he was number one in like just all around like strokes gained from tee to green. Right. But he was not up there putting wise. I mean, so if that clicks for him, everything else is elite, top three.
That's a really good point. Yeah. And look at a guy like Viktor Hovland. I mean, he's coming off hot business and now he's coming in here. You know,
that short game's looking good.
I think he's going to have that game plan. That's the thing with Victor, dude. He'll plan and be the golf nerd of it and figure it out. Rory, you know, he hasn't won in the U.S. Open. What I think it was 2011 was his last one. Mm-hmm. And then you know who the sleeper, and I'm going to call it. This is who I'm saying, Brendan. Patrick Cantlay.
Oh, it's when it happens.
It's time for him and Joe to seal the deal. It's time to make it official.
They're going to
put a ring on it.
Mm.
I think this is the week where you're going to see Patrick Cantlay and Joe LaCava put a ring on it. I think you're going to see a little slap action. I think Cantlay is going to be getting all the good shots. He's going to be whizzing. I think he's had a hot couple tournaments, and he T14'd it last year. So it's not like he doesn't know about pressure, and the dude's legit. I think it might be a big surprise. We might see Patrick Cantlay come up with a win this week.
Dude, you know, he's a good all-around player. It's going to be a tough course. You want your ball strikers. I mean, yeah, I think that's a pretty good call for sure. I think he's got a chance. And getting LaCava in the bag, and after a few tournaments together, starting to hone in. And is this the second or this is the first major together? Can't recall if they were at the PGA, but either way, dude. Yeah, that's a good call right there, dude. What about
Max Homa? I knew you were going to say it, and we didn't plan that because I've been thinking about Max Homa too. I wrote it in my iPhone notes. I swear to God, I wrote it in my iPhone notes. I called it wrong. I thought Rory was going to win the Masters. I called that way wrong. But I did write in my iPhone notes, Max Homa U.S. Open, because I made the bet on, I think it was DraftKings or wherever, FanDuel. I made the bet for Max Homa to win the U.S. Open. I'm contradicting myself. My opinion has changed now, and I think it might be Cantlay. But I was thinking Max Homa for the longest time, so I would not be surprised if Max Homa came up with a huge finish here too, or potentially a win.
Did he shoot the course record here, like back in like 2013?
Yeah, he ridiculous. He loves this course. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be a dark horse there. I mean, obviously he's a little flashy with that statistic or, you know, data point, whatever, but beyond that, I mean, you haven't heard a whole lot about him. He hasn't been, he started off super hot, like he was playing super, super well. And then he kind of has slowed down of late a little bit. So he might, I don't know, he might be a little sneaky guy there, but I like him. And then, you know, Spieth, dude, he's super creative, super creative. It's going to be a difficult course where you have to have a lot of creative, like short game. He's been pretty on his game from a standpoint of like, pretty accurate off the tee, and we know he's a good ball striker. So I don't know, but
We were a little alarmed because he had the wrist issues,
Right.
but I think he's done with that. I think he's kind of been over that. And the only other thing I'll say is that like this course here is not as much. It's not as similar as Chambers Bay was in 2015, so it's a little different on the style side. But I don't know. I think he'll still have a shot. He'll always have a shot. It's Jordan Spieth. He'll always be in it.
Yeah.
You know who I'm more surprised? Who could be a real sleeper, like my actual sleeper? Justin Rose.
Ooh, okay. I know. Yeah.
This would be the 10th anniversary of him winning the U.S. Open.
He's been playing all right.
And he won at Pebble Beach. He finished in the top 10 at the Players and the PGA.
He was around last week.
Yeah, and he's got I think 3 top 12s as well. Like he's hitting great. He's gaining 1 stroke per round or better with his irons over the last 3 events. I mean, that's pretty damn good. So I think he might be a little sleeper here, but we might see some magic out of Justin Rose.
All right, this is
of course Matty Fitz.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he's got to make a little bit of a run. I know he hasn't been having a stellar season, but like,
can you win it back to back?
For sure. I don't think he wins it back to back, but I think he represents, being the trophy holder.
Sure.
My last guy I got my eye on. No one's been talking about him this year. I feel like he's almost been forgotten. But Xander Schauffele, dude,
Xander could put in some work
in majors sneakily. He's got, I think in the last like 4 or 5 majors, he's racked up top 18s.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's an all-around player, and he can get hot with his putter. I like him.
Yeah. I mean, it says right here, I'm looking at a stat. It says who's hitting the best leading into the U.S. Open. Top players from tee to green over the last 30 rounds: Scheffler, Cantlay, Xander.
Sleeper.
So definitely a sleeper. And then it says if you want overall shots gained, including the live guys, for the same 30-round window, it goes Scheffler, Xander, Rahm, Cantlay, Rory, Hatton.
Oh, Terrell loves tough courses.
So
he hates them. He hates them, but he always plays
the whole
well
time.
on them. He gets pissed off and he plays well. I like. Okay,
interesting.
Okay. There's a lot of guys out there that aren't being talked about. I think it's going to be an interesting one because we know Koepka's coming.
Of course, yeah. And course is going to be great. Los Angeles Country Club, fucking phenomenal course. I'm pretty sure Paul's actually played there. But yeah, unreal. Going to be a great weekend.
I'm stoked, dude.
I'm going to be watching. We're going to be watching. I'm going to be watching on Sunday. I'm working most of the weekend, but Sunday is going to be my day to just kind of kick and watch a little golf.
There it is.
It's going to be it, man.
Dude, do your thing, man. I'm just.
That's it,
dude. I didn't even mention it to you. I totally forgot. It's been kind of on the low. It's my secret. It's my little secret. Dude, I bought a mat and a net. Ooh. I just got it. I just got it a couple of days ago.
In your house, you're dangerously doing this, or you're doing it outside?
I got it in my driveway, so now I'm getting strokes in, man.
Nice. Yeah,
it's fucking phenomenal.
Wait until you misshoot that and it goes and smacks your neighbor's window at fucking 75 miles an hour. That's gonna be awesome.
I think they'd understand the struggle out there.
Yeah, most people don't know how it golfs, so that's a good
thing. Actually pay me. They'd be like, you know what? You deserve. You're putting in hard work. After hours. Let's go.
Yeah.
Good for you. Here's a little tip and a cookie.
I think that wraps up, dude. Another episode of Good Lies Golf.
Dude, I had so much fun with you tonight. Oh, yeah. That was great.
It was the most fun ever in the history of golf.
The greatest game ever played, Shia LaBeouf.
All right, we're gonna end with Shia LaBeouf.
What's even happening right now, bro?
You enjoy that Chick-fil-A drink, and we'll see you
Lemonada,
next week. Lemonada from Chick-fil-A during Pride Month, you asshole. Brendan,
I'm gonna be in peak form next week. Apple Valley week, dude.
He's getting peak. All right,
Let's go.
Catch you later.
All right, man. Later, bro.